Yeah. Yes. Hello. Welcome back, everyone, to the podcast. Well, this is going to be one atomic bomb of an episode, guys.
Is gonna be one nuclear episode. Well, why do I say that? Well, I just saw Oppenheimer, the movie about the atomic guy.
The Atomic Dad. What's her name with all time? Is one nuclear wasteland of a podcast. You guys better get in the fallout shelter because this is going to be one, you know, radioactive episode. I can't think of any more puns. I don't have my pun expert here on staff today. He's out on vacation. Yeah, look, I mean, you guys have been begging me to be like, do film reviews, and you know, I've been ignoring you, and I guess like, maybe I should start. I mean, this Sunday, in a nuclear, explosive film review podcast, we talk about the ticking time bomb of a movie that is
Oppenheimer. When are we gonna test the fucking nuclear bomb? When are we gonna do the test? I don't know. I guess we gotta figure it out.
That's the whole movie. No. Now, if this episode was like that movie, I would have this type of music going the whole time, because this is kind of the kind of music that Christopher Nolan guy uses in all his movies. Like, everyone that he does kind of has this same kind of pulsing kind of music. And I gotta say, I don't know if I loved that in the movie. I guess I was expecting more like a drama, like a biopic. It's about a guy's life. I guess I thought it wouldn't be as like his other movies, you know, but it kind of was pretty similar. I mean, it wasn't as confusing as his other movies, but he still kind of made it a little confusing, you know, like it was like, because he had these like different things going on. You know, he had like he had these scenes that were like in black and white, and there were like this committee hearing. I don't really know about this one guy that I don't really look. I don't I don't remember their names. Just the one Robert Downey Jr.'s character was involved more in this one trial that was in black and white, but it would cut through that. Like the whole movie would randomly cut to that. And then there was another indictment hearing. You know, I know there's stuff going on with
Trump with the indictment.
but and I did kind of think of that when they kept showing this indictment that Oppenheimer went through, and I mean, in this movie, like, I mean, it's based on real stuff. He apparently did have this like indictment that was just driven by just driven by people that didn't like him. And I mean, look, like, that's the thing I don't like about the Trump stuff. I mean, yeah, Trump is less likable as a person. Well, actually, no, because they said Oppenheimer wasn't that likable either. But I mean, Trump is more brash and loud or whatever. But he's being politically punished and targeted, obviously, No matter what you think of Trump, like, he's obviously it's like driven by vindictiveness, like, by the whole party, not just although it's probably because these people actually do have an axe to grind with Trump, like, maybe personally, I don't know. It's different stuff. Like, Oppenheimer, I guess, had these vague communist accusations, which, I don't know, this whole, the whole Red Scare, the whole McCarthyism back then, like, it's just kind of funny to see that in a movie now, because everybody now is like, oh, I love socialism, I love it's like cool and in to be communist, although we don't, somehow back then, I guess the reason why they went so hard against communism is because of Russia. But somehow now no one is thinking of Russia when you talk about communism. You have AOC, who's like socialist, but like nobody's like, oh, she's Russian asset or whatever. Like, when did that get separated out? Like, oh no, this is socialism. That has nothing to do with like Soviet Russia, whatever. I don't like, what's socialism versus communism? I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that because I don't know. But yeah, so they were digging up all this stuff. None of it was bad, like, at all. I mean, and at least I don't know, but yeah, he had to still, like, Nolan had to still make the movie a little bit, like, confusing because he had like 3 plot lines or more going on, because they would go to these indictment hearings that were in this little room, and then they would cut to the black and white thing too, but then they would go tell the story of him getting started with the Manhattan Project and all that, which I didn't know a lot about, like, any of that, so that was cool. Like, and I guess it makes you wonder, because the whole movie is about his grasping with creating having to create this, being a big part of creating it. But I mean, I'm thinking, like, I always like I never knew anything about him except when he was an old, like, I've only saw pictures of him when he was really old and regretting, saying he's destroyer of worlds or whatever. And that's one thing that annoyed me in the movie. I mean, well, I'm not actually reviewing it, but yeah, it's definitely really good. It's just like there was this scene early on in the movie when he's like, I mean, this is one of those movies where they just randomly have nude scenes. I mean, it's not like it was apparently true, or was hooking up with this lady. I watched part of a real story, like the real story behind his life, and I guess he was, but I don't think she said that line to him, that quote about destroyer of worlds, like, in this movie they make it like so ridiculous, like, that it's obviously not what happened, like, because, like, if this was a fictional movie, I guess I'd let that pass, like, but even then it's too hard to, like, the way she picks this book, and she randomly she stops having, like, I mean, look, this isn't really a big spoiler. It's a spoiler if you don't want a part of a sex scene ruined. It has nothing to do with the plot. It's just with that quote, how he says in real life, like, oh, I am death, destroyer of world, or whatever. She stops, like, and I forget her name. I've talked about it. Florence Pug or whatever her name is. That actress. So they stop. She like stops having sex with him. She gets up, randomly picks a random book. I guess she somehow knows on the bookshelf. I guess like by the way that the real woman that he did hook up with that she's playing, she was a researcher. So I guess it isn't too crazy to believe. But the fact that it was Florence Pug, I guess, made me sexist. I don't know. Just like know she's dumb in real life. And I mean, it's not fair. I know this was a real, but get somebody like 30. Get somebody, I don't know. You know, it's really hard to separate celebrities from their characters they play anymore because they're so fucking outspoken and annoying now, and they put down the audience all the time. I don't know if she's done that though. Like, to be fair, but her grabbing this. I guess maybe I didn't pay attention to, in the movie, she's really just a Communist Party member trying to recruit Oppenheimer. And to his credit, like, not that I really care. I mean, in real life, he didn't join. I guess he just, was he wanted to explore ideas, which is kind of how I understand being open-minded, though. Like, I don't see how, back then we had this hysteria about communism. Now we have this hysteria with Russia. They called Tulsi Gabbard a Russian asset because of something. Anybody who just has one sort of opinion is called a Kremlin asset or whatever now. So we've replaced that with being like that about Russia, but so that's what she was doing, and she grabs this book and she points to one. It's written in Sanskrit also. So I guess we're supposed to believe this character that he's banging. I mean, okay, it's based on a real researcher lady, but she somehow knows this Sanskrit book that's written entirely in that language. And Oppenheimer goes, "Oh, this is his book. I'm trying to learn this language." And she goes, "Read this line." And it happens to be the line that's, "I am now death, destroyer of worlds," or whatever. It happens to be that exact line. She flips to it like right away too. She doesn't even like script right during them having sex. Like, why put that in there? Like, to be like a fierce feminist moment or something? Like, I don't know. I always read into stuff like I always read that there's a woke meaning put in there, but this is Christopher Nolan. I don't think I think he probably actually put it in there because for some reason. I don't think it was woke. That's the problem with people that are anti-woke like I am too, but like they can start assuming everything is woke, and this movie is not like that at all. People complain that the women don't have enough dialogue in it, but it's about Oppenheimer. I mean, what are you talking about? They do have dialogue in it, and they are real, based on people that are real. So that line was towards sort of in the intro section of the movie. I mean, it's like a 3-hour long movie. It really didn't feel that long, though. I mean, his movies just move so quick. I wish it was more drawn out because I had to take a piss and towards the end I was like, I'm just going to hold it because I'll miss a key sec. His movies are so quickly paced, and the shit people say to each other is it's almost like a Mission Impossible movie. It's it's if you miss one little microsecond, you'll be like, oh fuck, the next 40 minutes I don't get what's going on because I missed that one thing. So bring a diaper to this if you see this movie. I mean, another thing this movie I guess was showing in this weird, well not weird, but this, the 70 millimeter format, which I think is an older format, but it's hard to find now, and it's oh, you gotta view it this way, and then there's another IMAX 70 millimeter format, which I didn't see because it said only 16 theaters in the whole country can show it, and there's only one in New York. and it's always sold out except for, well, there was like one seat in the very front, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm not that much of a nerd, you know. And I don't think I'd notice much of a difference. Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess I kind of I do kind of like the film, like the old film format. Like, I kind of like knowing that it's like film and it's like not digital. And, you know, there was like, I saw it in this old theater in New York that like apparently is like 100, it's like really old, but like it looks really cool. It looks like an old like playhouse or something. And there was these two girls in there. One was like well, they were almost in my seat, but there was plenty of extra seats, so. But they were sitting in there, and I heard one like was looking for like, they were like, oh, these seats aren't like, they don't lean back, like they were complaining because the seats weren't exactly what AMC has or whatever. But it was pretty well. I will say, yeah, like if it was a packed theater, it would have been uncomfortable because the seats were really close together. And luckily, it wasn't sold out because, yeah, I don't know why. I got lucky, I guess, but yeah,
When are we gonna
give my thoughts on the movie? Just want to give my little 2 cents on the movie. What would you do if you had to create this? I mean, well, this is one of those. I was actually surprised. I looked up the real story, and it's almost crazier than the movie. Because I didn't know anything. Like they paint him as a womanizer, sort of. And I guess he did have. Well, he hooked up with the ones they show, at least. I don't know. They might be playing that up a little bit, but I don't know. I was wondering, like, is he like? That's one of the things, you never know how somebody. It's hard to know if he was like a woman, like he's. It's hard for me to tell somebody, oh, he gets a lot of girls, like. But if he has a prestigious job, I feel like it's just easier to, like, women might start throwing themselves at you. So I'm not sure if that counts, like. And to me, like, I don't know, like, saying somebody, like, I guess they just say he's like, he's not, I don't know. I guess I was starting to think, like, oh, this is annoying. Like, the women just, like, this shows that women just like, somebody having just like power, and they just want to, you know. Well, I guess I was watching it mostly thinking, like, well, yeah, I guess, like, you know, the main thing about the movie is, like, okay, what, like, his struggle with creating this atom bomb which can destroy the world. It's like, and yeah, I guess, like, it seems like he kind of, like, sort of did, but then it was only really till after they actually blew up stuff that he that he did regret it or whatever. But, like, I'm starting to think, like, you know, because I watched the movie thinking, like, maybe this guy really didn't care, and he had no, like, he's one of those guys that has no empathy. He's just all about figuring stuff out. And I guess I still wonder that because, well, this isn't really a spoiler either. The very minor thing that happens in the movie, he does something to an apple for his teacher, but the real story is crazier. What really happened in the movie? It's like this little minor thing that's like a half of a scene, and that's it. They move on. But in real life, apparently, he actually poisoned his teacher, and then his dad had to go in and apparently talk them out of getting him in trouble. Now I'm thinking, like, this guy made the atom bomb. Like, imagine if that, like, you know, I guess because he was so smart, they like. What if that he killed his teacher? What if there was an alternate timeline where he killed his teacher? Hold on, let me I guess Google this. I don't know if it was teacher, mentor. Oh, his tutor. Tried to poison his professor due to a minor conflict. I think it was Harvard, wasn't it? Oh, see, look, this makes me kind of see all the. Oh, I can't read the whole story. This makes me wonder that maybe he is. I don't know. He meets the definition of psychopath or whatever, where he has no feelings, like he, you know, Oppenheimer was troubled and used to hurt people. He tried to strangle his fellow roommate. He laced an apple with poison, put it on the desk, but then I'm confused if he actually ate it or not. Because this seems like he snapped, you know, it's one of those things where he snapped. Coated it with chemicals. While on vacation, he confessed to his friends that he did it. Okay, so somehow he didn't eat the apple. But his friends told the university. I mean, just imagine. And then he had to go psychiatric evaluations. Well, look, I don't. I mean, like, I'm wondering, like, did he put enough to kill somebody, or just like what? You know. That's what I was wondering, because I mean, that's crazy to think of, like, if he just imagine if he killed this guy, his professor or tutor or whatever it was, and then he never does anything again. I mean, because of the affluent family thing, especially back then, yeah, he wouldn't have been probably in trouble. Well, maybe, I don't know. Imagine, like, what would have happened? Like, he has this affluent, like, back then, especially. See, this is actually this is more interesting than the part in the movie. There's a lot of stuff that happened in his life that's more that I guess they couldn't fit in the movie. So that makes me wonder about him, like, if he could just do that and not think about it. Well, I guess after he had regrets or he confessed. But I mean, in another timeline, could he just, like, you know, let's see, what would have been what happened? Like, you see that Murdaugh, whatever family, where the kid, I think, just went to jail but then got back out. Like, would Oppenheimer have gone to jail, got back out, and then I don't know if he'd be in charge of anything in the government. He got arrested before, so just like, that's crazy to think, like, if his professor got killed from. I mean, I feel like, you know what the thing is, like, I'm not really that clear on, like, how Oppenheimer solves that, like, did it all himself. Like, it seemed like even in the movie there was, like, maybe he helped advance the formulas, but they were already headed there anyway. Like, they kind of even mentioned that, like, Einstein is in the movie a little, and they kind of even make it reference the fact that they were basically onto this anyway. Maybe it happened quicker because Oppenheimer, I don't know, but I feel like maybe without Oppenheimer they still could have done it the way the movie kind of goes. I mean, who knows though, but I kind of think, you know, it just might have been like, oh, maybe they make a bomb but it's not as big or something, but I don't think we'd never have a nuclear bomb if it wasn't for this guy. That's kind of just the feeling I got from seeing that, like, that they were kind of already onto it, but maybe he just, you know, said it made it a bigger thing, or I don't know. So like I don't really only blame, like I don't think Oppenheimer is like, oh fuck, he made it. Like it's his fault that we bombed Hiroshima and all that. Like uh I don't know. Like maybe maybe if someone else was in charge, it would have taken longer and then they wouldn't have bombed it. I don't know, but like I do think they were headed there anyway, and they probably would have made something anyway. Um, I don't only blame him. It's mainly the government. Like, but yeah, it made me think of AI too. Like all the race with AI that's going on. Because I was thinking, like, with the nuclear bomb, like at least when they started working on it in the movie, like the more advanced they get with it, they kind of start wondering, like, oh, should we really do this? Like, they even have they talk about it at, like on the base where they apparently, they made a whole Manhattan Project, basically made their own town where they'll just live to work on it, which I didn't know that. But like they start to wonder about that. But it's like with a bomb, you're like, okay, this will blow up, people will die. But with the AI, we have no idea. Like, we know it'll, people are just worried about job replacement. What, like, but who know? Like, there's just so many unknowns with it. I feel like it's, well, not worse, but like, there's way more unknowns with it, It's almost like, like there's just the fact in the movie they talk about, like, just with the tests they did, they're like, well, look, there's a tiny, tiny, almost no chance that this will set the atmosphere on fire and then the whole world blows up or whatever. I just think, like, I don't know, like, getting something out there, well, it's like too bad that they didn't just see the test and go, you know what, let's not do it. That's really what should have happened. I mean, I almost think, like, I think, like, he would have been a hero at that point. Like, you can't really view him as a hero because of the fact of Hiroshima and all that. But, like, if they would have just done the test and been like, oh, that's way too scary, let's not. Which is like a normal human. You would think that's a normal human response. Like, wow, that's just the test you did? Okay, I'm glad you did that. You know what? Now let's not even do, let's not do it. Let's not drop it, But it seems like, at least like in the movie, they're just like, all right, it worked. Boom. They just drop it right away. I don't know how long they waited. I guess it was right away because he was like waiting in the movie. I mean, I haven't finished watching what's real and not. But yeah, I guess I don't just blame him. I blame, if you're going to blame any, like, you can't just blame one guy. You can't blame only him, in my opinion. I mean, you have to blame whoever else was trying to get this done, and then just think about that, guys. I mean, it's a real head scratcher to, I don't know what else. I thought I had more thoughts about, I just wonder, like, I wonder in the future if they will be like, if we will be looking back at the Russia Gate and everything. I mean, nobody's going to look back and say, unless, like, Trump gets really, it's kind of funny, like in the movie, they're like, we don't want to make a trial, like, we don't want to martyr Oppenheimer and stuff. That's kind of what they're doing with Trump now, is they're martyring. I mean, I don't know if they're going to, are they going to imagine if they do a public trial. I mean, that's definitely, yeah, it's like, Trump just doesn't have that personality to be like, it would be like that if Trump could sit there and look sad. I don't know if he's that kind of person though. Like Oppenheimer can sit there and look regretful, but like I don't know. But you know the whole RussiaGate, calling everybody like Russia attached like an asset to Russia because they don't want to send like infinite money to Ukraine. I wonder if that'll be looked bad at like a hysteria a little bit, like oh, and the other thing was like, you know, in that whole indictment part in the movie, it's like these guys just like you can just tell it's vindictive like bullshit, you know, because they're just like being semantic about what you say and how you say like, oh, did you mean. It just really makes you go like, wow, anybody could be put on trial for anything and look bad. If you really just go, oh, when you said this, it really sounds like you meant that. And then if you just seem upset, like you look guilty then. Like, I don't know. Anybody can just go through your text and be like, looks like you didn't get exactly home at the time you said you got off work at this time, but then you got home later than the traffic indicates here. What are you going to explain that? Like, and everybody, like, you get the guys that, like, I know it was a movie, but, like, you know, the guys with questioning Oppenheimer, like, this look of glee in his face when he's trying to get somebody. And if you know you're being a piece of shit, like, that's even worse, like, to have that glee on your face. Oh, what did that mean? Oh, I got you there, didn't I?
Yeah. I don't know if you can really get your clearance again.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that is pretty alarming to have like try to poison your teacher and then like have these other. But you know what? Like, I mean, the way the movie even comes off is like, yeah, everybody in politics, every official is basically a, you know, a vindictive like piece of shit. I mean, they're all like, and this is based on a real story. You got anybody watching that movie, and you're like, oh, they can't be like that. No, they're like that, and they're probably worse now because of how divided we are now. Like, now everything's just a sham bullshit. Like, grilling somebody doesn't even mean anything anymore. Like, now it's just in social media. It's like, oh, this guy's grilled before Senate. It's like, who cares unless they're, you know, it's all subjective, and that's just how they are. That's just, like, they're that vindictive. They're that shitty. And I mean, the way they, yeah, that's how politics is. It's not just this movie. You know, people will watch this movie and they'll probably just go like, wow, that was a bad time. Like, not realizing this is just how and they even say in the movie, like, that's how the game is played. Like, they'll eventually give you your medal and you'll walk up and everything will be okay. But, you know, yeah, they fuck you over and that's your life. You know, you got to be humiliated and then maybe you'll get a little medal. That's how politics, that's how it is, you know, like, and that was back then. Now it's even like crazier. So, I mean, yeah, we don't have atomic tests going on. Somehow we wised up with that. I know some people still think nuclear energy is a good idea, like it's cleaner, but no thank you, because I just think people are stupid. I mean, we can't handle that kind of easily, anything within very easily wiping out people, like we shouldn't have any control of. I mean, we should not be anywhere near something that if we just, you know, just take it from me. Take it from me. Okay. An atomic level. Okay, so Okay, so I didn't. I'm kind of like, I don't really care about. I don't know, a lot of the stupid movies out now, like the major all these remakes of the Disney, all these live action remakes of the Disney movies. I don't care about anything. I don't care about any of them. I just don't. Honestly, I'm really not a Disney person anyway. I just don't care about Disney. I never really understood a lot of the. I mean, I don't actually really like any. I don't know if I like really any Disney movies. I mean, Pixar I liked. I don't know, like, yeah, growing up, like, everybody loved Disney movies, like, I'd watch them. And I did probably like The Lion King. Maybe I'm thinking of ones that I liked. I didn't like I didn't like any of the music in any of them, honestly. Like, I never even liked, any of the songs. Like, I don't know, I just don't like those kind of movies, musicals. I'm not saying I'd hate every single one, but like, I guess Lion King was better. I don't know why. And some of the Aladdin stuff is okay. Again, I'm not like thrilled by any of it. I'm just I don't know. I just don't really care. Snow White. I don't care about Snow White. Not because I think it's toxic masculinity. Like, I don't even understand. Like, okay, so apparently there's a Snow White live action remake. I'm assuming it's live action. This is funny. I don't know. This is just. I just happened to hear on somebody's video, they played video clips of her talking, and it was just atrocious, and it's really bad. I don't even really care about any. Like, I actually thought I was over. Even, like, I know actors are stupid. They're saying dumb shit. They're saying we have to be feminist, whatever. I knew it was going to be something like that. But I just didn't care about it that much. I'm just ignoring it. I'm not going to go see it. But, like, this seems like really, really embarrassing. Like, the way she came off was so irritating.
Rachel Zegler. Read the music. Rachel Zegler. Everybody. Entertainment news now. By the hour. Everybody, thank you for watching Jessica's entertainment reviews. Yeah. Rachel Zegler gets viral backlash as comments about Snow White remake resurface. Oh, they already resurfaced, huh? Oh, she made them last year and they're already resurfacing.
Yeah, so I guess she made comments about Disney's live-action remake of the 1937 cartoon Snow White isn't scheduled for release till March, but its lead actress, Rachel Zegler, is already at the heart of a social media controversy of a comment she made last year. Interview clips of Zegler from September have resurfaced on social media, where people are criticizing her comments about the film, the title princess, and the Prince Charming character. In a soundbite that had gone viral, sorry, this music's so good. In a soundbite that has gone viral, Zegler suggested scenes featuring. Wait, this would be better with the.
Suggested scenes featuring her co-star Andrew Burnap, who plays Prince Charming, could be cut from the film. In another soundbite that has become the center of discourse, Zegler described her vision of Snow White as a lady who doesn't need a prince to save her. She also told an interviewer that she saw the original film only once before she was cast because... What's that mean? Oh. Because she found the film scary as a child. Others used the viral discourse to bash her, who has already faced racist backlash to her casting in the movie. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not racist to think it's annoying. I mean, at a certain point. All right, look, I'm just going to say it's not racist to be annoyed that they keep race swapping because they have no other ideas. That's why they're doing it, because they want to seem like they care, and they don't. Do you really think they're like, we're going to empower? Do you really think executives seriously care about Hispanic community representation? I mean, what? If it's in to do that, they'll do it. That's why they're doing it. They want the like Twitter people to be happy. I mean, are they going to Mexico and helping out anybody? I don't think so. So like I did hear the clip of this, and she sounds like a complete idiot. I can't even believe like this is worse than like people hated Brie Larson, I guess. Because of her stupid Miss Marvel. I never saw that movie, and I don't care at all about it. Like, it's not sexist. It's just like, who cares? Maybe it is. Maybe it is like, because I just don't like. I haven't seen anything appealing about Captain Marvel. Like, what is the point? Like, just to be, I'm a woman with powers. What's the point of it? At least Ripley from Aliens was a soul, fought and had to struggle and stuff. You know what? I gotta find the clip because it's so stupid. I just gotta find the clip. I know I'm gonna find a bunch of annoying comments over it. Maybe they'll play it though.
It's been out there for a long time, but they have. But anyway, so a lot of different outlets are talking
to the press. Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney's. We've heard the classic story before. Let's have a listen.
I do like Sky News.
I mean, awesome. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
But anyway, so a lot of different outlets.
All right, so like I don't remember it being a guy that stalks her. Like I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but so the original director's son criticizes her for criticizing. This is just like a merry-go-round of people getting upset. Man, I really hate this whole like feminist shit now because it's like now it's like where like, oh, women can't be a mom because it's sexist to even want to be a mom. It's like it's not about like individuality. It's the same with all the woke stuff. Like, hey, no, you don't do. They get mad at you if you're like, I want to have kids and whatever. Like, oh, it's not feminist to like want to be saved. What? And wanting true love? Like, wait, are you saying you don't want, like, ugh. I guess she got upset that people got upset. See what I mean? It's just a bunch, just constant back and forth. I'm just going to look up the plot of Snow White, the original. Snow White and the Seven Dwarves was called. That's another thing they're doing now. To be more woke, they're not getting little midgets or little people, whatever you want, real dwarfs. There's still dwarfism. People still have that. I don't see how it's an insult. Like Bill Burr has an old bit, a real old bit. I liked it before anybody else did. About midgets not being offensive because it's like a tough, like it's just such a stupid. It's another, George Carlin used to always talk about the softening of language. And I'd like to think he'd still be against that, if he was alive. But okay. Here's the plot of do I have any mysterious or plot music? To play the Christopher Nolan soundtrack music. What's going on now? I don't know. We have to do it. Are you going to do it? I don't know. But you have to do it. I don't know if we should do that. Wait. China just got the message. China. Like that's how that's how they talk in his movies. Is there a way I can loop this? Hold on. No. I have to buy it probably. Yes. It's from 1937, and you can fucking tell. Having lost both of her parents at a young age, Snow White is a princess living with her stepmother, the Queen. Fearing that Snow White's beauty will outshine her own, the Queen forces her to work at a maid and asks her mayor daily who's the first, whatever. Snow White meets and falls in love with the prince who overhears her singing. Sexist. Okay, so what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that plot point there? Snow White meets and falls in love with the prince. So how is he then stalking her if she falls in love with him? What? Snow White meets and falls in love with a prince. This is outdated and sexist to fall in love. Whoever hears her singing. On that same day, the mirror informs the queen that Snow White is now the fairest in all the land. Angered, the queen orders her huntsman to take Snow White into the forest, kill her, and bring her back in a jeweled box. The huntsman cannot bring himself to kill Snow White and reveals to her the queen's plot. He then urges her to flee in the woods and never return alive. No. Snow White is befriended by animals who lead her to a cottage. He then finds the 7 dwarves. And she basically, she lives with the dwarves. But they're like magical dwarves. The queen creates a poison apple. Using a potion to disguise herself as an old hag. Why isn't she upset about the ageism there? The animals... The queen uses a potion to disguise herself as an old hag. And then go to the cottage while the dwarves are away. The animals see through the disguise but are unable to warn Snow White. They rush off to find the dwarves. Queen! Pulls Snow White into biting the apple, and much like Oppenheimer. Huh? See that?
Callback?
And then, okay, so she bites the apple and falls into slumber. Okay, let's see. The dwarves find Snow White in a coma. They put her in a glass coffin. A year later, the prince learns of Snow White's eternal sleep and visits the coffin. Where is the stalking part of this plot? A year later, the prince learns of Snow White's coma and visits the coffin. Saddened by her apparent death, he kisses her, thinking she's dead. So that what? She can't consent because she's dead? I mean, I really can't wait for this to flop. I really hope no one sees this shit, and I hope it's because of this actress being a fucking idiot. I mean, this isn't even like people complained about that "Baby It's Cold Outside" song. This isn't even that, which got misinterpreted. I mean, that got misinterpreted, but there's nothing to misinterpret here. He thinks she's dead, and then he gives her a little kiss to. It's not, I could see if he sees her dead, he thinks she's dead, and then he gets turned on, and then he like fucks the dead body of Snow White, and then keeps doing that, and then he puts it in the woods, and then he keeps going back and having more sex with the dead body, like Ted Bundy or something. Now that would be a little problematic. But so this is just a Prince, like, it's not like, I mean, did anybody else, was that like a weird Tumblr theory? Like, I don't even understand where she's coming from. Like, like I said, with Baby It's Cold Outside, if you do take those lyrics at face value, you can read into it that somebody's gonna getting drugged or whatever. Somebody's gonna get
date raped.
But so if you're a guy, I mean, people wonder, women wonder why there's that whole men going their own way movement online. Can you blame them? I mean, now if you see a woman unconscious, are you going to be called a stalker for calling the police? Like, or calling the paramedics? What are you?
Excuse me. Did you just call the ambulance to help me? Because that's literally fucking stalking, and that is weird.
Like, I'm more mad watching that clip again of her. What? You're a creepy stalker if you hear oh, Snow White's dead, I'm gonna go out there and check for myself. Okay, stalker, what the fuck? Oh, hey, did you hear Snow White is, like, out, like, in a coma, I think, or something, like in the woods. I don't know. We haven't really been out there. Oh, I should go check on her. That's horrible. I should go help. You want to what?
You wanna what? What did you say? You wanna help a woman? Fucking creepy.
So, yeah, if you see a girl and she, I mean, how do you even defend that? Like, is there any, I just looked this up, and I'm not seeing any defense of her. I just want to see somebody explain how that makes sense. Please, someone defend. So now you have the director's son coming out. The directors of which, I don't know, it's kind of weird to call a director of a cartoon, but I guess that's how. So I guess this Rachel Zegler was in the new West Side Story, which I never saw because it looked like shit. Oh, there's going to be a Godzilla on Apple TV. Oh, God. I don't understand why it's bad to want to be in love. What the fuck? This is Snow White in the original. It says dreamed of true love. It didn't even say I dream of being a housewife. I mean, of course, that's what it would have been, but I don't understand why that's anti-woman, you fucking retard idiot. David Hand, who I guess what's his father's name, says it's a whole different concept, and I just disagree with it. I know my dad and Walt would also very much disagree with it. Their thoughts are just so radical now. They change the stories. They're making up new woke things, and I'm just not into any of that. I find it, frankly, a bit insulting. I mean, look at this. Even a TikToker said criticizing Disney princesses is not feminist. Not every woman wants to be a leader. Not every woman wants or craves power, and that's okay. And then, so Rachel Zegler. So then, where was I? Zegler has not directly responded to the criticism of her resurfaced comments, but last week tweeted, "I hope the world becomes kinder," and asked followers to treat each other with patience and empathy. Remember that you are loved unconditionally. Yeah, okay. Unless you're a woman that wants to find love. Disney has not responded to the controversy. I have to remember to say it in a British retarded way. It did not have a comment about this latest turn. Snow White and the Seven Dwarves is considered a particularly hallowed title in the Disney canon, as it was first ever feature-length animated movie, and its make-or-break success allowed the company to move forward with more films. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like, it really isn't, like, it still doesn't. I know I said I don't like Disney movies or whatever, but, like, the main stories of those old movies are pretty classic, like, hold up still, you know? An evil queen that wants to basically steal the youth, like, block, you know, she wants to be the, kind of the similar story in that Tangled movie. I mean, you know, I do wish Disney would go back to hand drawing stuff, like, or just animation. Like, why do we have to have CGI every fucking like, I miss that, you know, like, I was even watching, like, old movies, this old 1930 movie that, like, was restored in HD, and I guess they, like, Technicolor, like, they painted some of the backgrounds. They painted a lot of the scenery, and I thought it was real, but it looks really good. And it's like, why can't we do that again, you know? You don't need to, like, this is really, really going to be bad. Her saying she was scared of the original, I mean, if you're saying you're scared of the queen, like, she really should have tried to save that. I mean, she's really unlikable. That's a really unlikable thing to say, like, you could easily have said, like, because of the queen, because of whatever, but, like, just saying I hate the movie. I mean, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck? I mean, it's obviously because she's in these, like, little communities online where they just, like, talk to each other, and they're like, yeah, you go, girl. You know, because they want to dismantle everything. Let's dismantle.
Let's fucking dismantle. Snow White. Let's dismantle it. Tear down good movies and replace them with shit. Tear down all the good
movies that people worked hard on and have good stories and are classic and stand up still today. And let's ruin those fucking movies and make them shit. Ugh. Fucking idiot. I mean, look, there's no way these remakes are going to hold up. I mean, I haven't even seen any of them. I've seen none of them. The only way I would have seen them is if I had kids, or if a girl's like, I want to go see it. And even then, it's like, I don't know. I mean, no. You know, I wasn't even that into the original, so. I guess I thought the Seven Dwarves were, like, a pretty cool thing in the movie. That was basically the thing I liked. The only real thing I liked in the movie. I mean, that was, like, a really cool part. Like, just interesting to have those characters. And now they're not even having. It's like how they got rid of Oscar the Grouch. By the way, if you didn't know this, they got rid of Oscar the Grouch on Sesame Street because he's too mean. I mean, it doesn't really matter because who fucking cares about Sesame Street? Like, just let it die. It's like The Simpsons. Just shut it down, you know? I mean, I kind of, like, so Gal Gadot was in those interviews too because she's in the movie as the evil queen. Okay, so that's not going to be that believable. Why would she be the evil, like, ugly queen? I mean, they're going to probably do a bunch of reshoots on this. I always see that when a movie is having bad things come out of it, like, there's going to be refilming and reshoots. I mean, it's not like it's going to be that hard to be Snow White. You just fucking. But really, if they ditch that whole plot, I mean, oh my god. I mean, what are they going to. Oh my god. So okay, so she's gonna want to be a girl boss, like just like what? Like I don't understand. She doesn't want to have true love in it, so she's gonna what? Just want to be in charge of something. It's so funny that she put out this like everybody be kind vague statement. What a fucking idiot. The whole reason for this movie at all is the original. Isn't it? And then people are coming to her defense, but they're not really defending what she said, though. They're just saying don't. They're just saying leave her alone. I mean, the problem I think isn't that she was scared of it as a kid, because maybe you'd be scared by the queen, like I said. Some of the stuff in Disney movies is a little creepy, like, I guess I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, I guess the magic, I don't know, some of that stuff, some of the stuff with the queen. Just the way she said it, like, I was so scared of it, and then combined with her comments about, like, well, all right, to be fair, those were clipped, though. Like, maybe she then went on to clarify. I don't know. I mean, but the fact that everybody hated it, like, I don't really know. Okay, so this is Reddit, like, regular. So they're probably going to not be that mad at her. I just think people, I mean, mainly I just think people are, like, sick of the remakes, and this is ridiculous. The thing is, like, this sounds bad, so, like, even if people do go see it, it might be like, don't, you know, the reviews are so bad, people stop. I mean, the way this sounds, like, what is this? What the fuck is this? Bunch of, like, okay, 2 black people, 3 POC, and then non-small people, one little person, I guess you're allowed to say now. So apparently Peter Dinklage is mad just having dwarves in a movie. Like, he's just mad that there's like, what? It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, and you're still making that fucking backward story about
7 dwarves living in a cave.
What the fuck are you doing, man? Have I done nothing to advance the cause of my soapbox? I guess I'm not loud enough. Yeah, no, I think you're just like, shut up. I mean, I guess he is his character in the Elf movie. He is. He's literally that character. What didn't that guy get upset about? God. Don't show us in movies. Okay? I guess he's talking about the portrayal, but God, it's so lame. The upcoming adaptation will not feature a Prince Charming and will instead focus on a stronger Snow White who dreams of becoming a leader. Every woman wants to become and does become a leader, that's for sure. There's so many. I mean, what are you talking about? Disney apparently said it's taking a different approach. After Peter Dinklage slammed the studio, and they said they had been consulting with members of the dwarfism community. Can't say dwarfs or midgets. You have to say members of, like they joined a club and they have a dwarf community club pass or something. To avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated
film, we are taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with more members of the dwarfism community.
We look forward to sharing more as the film heads in production after a lengthy development period. In December last year, sources close to the production That Snow White's 7 dwarves were not going to be fully computer generated and wouldn't be dwarves at all. Instead, she would be befriended by magical forest-dwelling creatures, not dwarves. That's evil. A source connected to the production explained that they would be like the trolls in Frozen or J.R.R. Tolkien's Hobbits. Yeah, but why are those bad? Why are those okay?
Why are hobbits still okay though? I know there's dwarfism and there's not hobbitism, but like why? Why? Oh, they using wait. They will have 2 legs, 2 arms, and but they may not be actually human. So they may. Okay, I don't know. I don't understand. You know what? Just make them fucking aliens then. Who cares? So, yeah, the actress quotes.
People are making these jokes about ours being the PC Snow White. Yeah, it is because it needed that. It's an 85-year-old cartoon, and our version is a refreshing story about a young woman who has a function beyond someday my prince will come.
Oh my God. Peter Pan viewers they put a warning on Peter. You know what? If you like these movies, just buy the fucking movies so you don't have to see these warnings. They went from that to being way over the top, politically correct. Oh God. I mean, yeah, just make your own stories, and no one will care about because you won't be race swapping if you make your own stories. It doesn't make any sense. If somebody gets mad about just, not white people being in a story, period, that's more of a racist thing than. It's not racist to just be annoyed by the swapping all the time.
Especially if it's cum swapping, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I just can't wait. This new Snow White, I'm gonna line up around the block.
Can't wait. We really needed this. We needed. That's another thing. Like, I mean, talk about just. It's like, oh, God. I mean, the whole thing was with Disney was like the fact that it was animation. And now we're just like, fuck animation. Let's just do everything live action and CG bullshit. But also, I mean, yeah, it's going to be shit anyway. It's going to be shit, yo. I can't wait for this to like, I have advanced screening. Like, I am going to be lined up around the block. Like, just get ready for that. I'll probably not be able to do a podcast that day because I'm going to be lined up
around the fucking block.
To say that about yourself. I myself am going to be lined up around the block. I'm that big of a person that I'm just around the block in the corner. I'm just going to camp out. Fucking can't wait for these movies that already were movies to come out. Because I can't see, like, I don't get it. Like, if I see a cartoon, I'm like, I don't get it, It has to be a live action dumbed down version. It can't there can't be something like a, drawn. It has to be real. It has to be terrible CGI, I just can't wait for this amazing looking movie to come out. I hope they do more remakes. There's not, they should do more. Like, they're going to do every single one, obviously, but I mean, what if they did one of the ones with the offensive stuff in it, like Dumbo or whatever, like whoever has the, God, they can't come up with shit. I mean, God. Just do anything. Any story, Disney, do anything. I think people might be just sick of Pixar, too. It's like, we get it. Like, just go back to... I don't know. I don't get why they don't try cartoons again or something. Just do something. everything is fucking problematic and fucking a problem now. We got to redo I mean, I know you're probably sick of people talking about this, but
I speak my fucking
Probably
truth,
not be able to-
okay?
probably not be
I
able to-
speak my authentic truth. The prince is a stalker. Stalks. Fucking creepy to save someone. Don't save me, let me die, bitch. Oh, hell yeah. Watch, can't wait, dude. Can't wait for the movie.